have a brief message for 62nd Independence Celebration, what we must demand of government. As we celebrate the 62nd anniversary of our nation's independence, amidst heightened political tension, widespread insecurity, worsening economic fortunes, and monumental corruption, and as we continue to hear calls for secession or self-determination from the southeast, from the southwest, and south-south, those of us who have not given up on Nigeria, those of us who still have faith in and commitment to the Nigerian nation, must start asking the managers of the Nigerian project, and especially those who are presenting themselves for elective positions at state and national levels, the following questions. And we owe it as a duty to ask these questions. Nigerian national unity, at what cost? And on what terms? What really are the fundamental bases of our being together as a nation? What are the core values that hold us together? What do we hold in common as a people? What should we agree, or what do we agree should be the basic rules of engagement for our corporate existence? As individual politicians and political parties jostle for positions come 2023, some of us recognize that just a change of ruling party or a change of ruling persons, which the 2023 elections will hopefully achieve, is not enough, and it cannot take us far. A renegotiation of the terms of our union as a matter of utmost urgency and priority national imperative is, to me, the most viable path for salvaging our failing and collapsing nation. For Nigeria to work, and for our young children to have a hope of a homeland, for our national fortunes to be radically transformed, the changes we require to bring about are not superficial changes. They are massive, fundamental, and far-reaching changes. Yet, in my view, the changes we must urgently make in our polity can be summarized under the following three broad themes. Number one, rule of law. Rule of law. We must build a nation, and those aspiring for leadership must promise us to build a nation where law and order reign, and we must dispense with the widespread culture of impunity, gangsterism, and executive lawlessness, which has brought us to the deplorable state of the jungle, where life is nasty, brutish, and short, and where only the most corrupt, the most ruthless, and the most beastly among us are surviving in the short term. Of course, they cannot survive in the long term. Number two, equal citizenship. Nigerians of all ethnic, religious, and social backgrounds, as well as political affiliations, must be accorded equal opportunities in every sector of our national life. We must be made to feel that we are all included in the management of our commonwealth. We cannot continue with the exploitative and scandalous situation whereby 95% of the resources of our nation are in the hands of only 5% of the population. 5% of the population who can send their children to expensive private schools and universities at home and abroad, and regularly travel abroad for medical treatment while abandoning public education and public health care to a state of utter decay, which is why our university teachers have been on strike for 8 months. We cannot continue with the situation whereby the children of my driver and my security guard will become drivers and security guards for my own children. That is unacceptable. Yes, we cannot continue a situation where the children of my driver and my security guard will be the drivers and security guards of my own children. No, we must provide equal opportunities for all Nigerian children so that the child of nobody today can become somebody tomorrow without knowing anybody. Furthermore, we must embrace equal citizenship and throw away the anomaly that we call indigenship, whereby a child born and bred in Okene, Kogi State can live there all his life, work and pay taxes there, and he can still be denied some of the basic rights and privileges of the citizens of Kogi State, simply because his ancestors migrated from somewhere else in the country and they had a different religion or spoke a different language. Number 3, a measure of self-determination, or what is called the devolution of powers. We must immediately engage in the radical restructuring of our nation and trace our steps back to the federalist route negotiated by the founding fathers between 1954 and 1959, and not continue to run a military-style unitary system and yet claim that we are a federal republic. We must understand that the basis of the existence of Nigeria is the mutual respect for the religious, ethnic, cultural, and social diversities of all those in the Union. Now, the 1999 Constitution appears to have vested too much power in the center and emasculated the federating units. This constitutional blunder is tearing us apart. It is killing us. And those who today are desiring to lead us must commit to rectifying this anomaly immediately they get into power, or we should not give them our votes. The economic realities of today challenge us to adopt no more than 6 or 7 viable regions or states and grant those regions or states a good measure of self-determination, thereby reducing to the barest minimum the items on the exclusive legislative list. We must cut down massively on the cost of governance by merging ministries, departments, and agencies, perhaps in a more radical manner than the Oronsaye report recommended many years ago. We must cut down massively on the perks or material benefits of public office holders, so as to make public office less attractive for those who have no vocation for leadership or any sense of service to the common good, but who are only seeking to control the key of the national treasury. We must now summon the courage to discuss openly and frankly the thorny issues of religion and state of origin, and agree on what place, if any, religion should play in governance, and resolve on whether we want to live under a monarchical theocracy or of some sort, or we want to live together as a modern, federal, democratic, multi-ethnic, and multi-religious entity founded on the principles of justice, equity, equality, and mutual respect. Now, if we are not able to resolve these thorny issues once and for all, then I am afraid that this country may not survive as one corporate entity for much longer, because, quite frankly, as presently constituted, I see that time is running out for Nigeria. Finally, as we mark our 62nd Independence Day amidst heightened campaigns by politicians for leadership positions in 2023, I urge you all Nigerians to ask those who desire to run the government in the next dispensation, who are now seeking our votes. I urge you to ask them how they intend to address the critical questions I have outlined above before you vote for them into power. On this note, I wish you all a happy independence celebration as we continue to pray that God will heal our land of the evils of the past and put us on a new path of justice, integrity, peace, and progress. Amen.